It was interesting. I'm a meteorologist. It was exciting. And you were thinking, wow, I'm going to experience a tropical cyclone. It was an unusual formation. You very rarely get cyclones up there, and I guess if it was any much further away, you wouldn't have even known it was a cyclone at the time. The track was really quite simple. It started to the north of the Tiwi Islands and then came down in a curving track, passing the western end of the Tiwi Islands and then down on into Darwin. Tracy has to be one of the best monitored systems for tropical cyclones of those years. We pretty well knew what it was, where it was going, and we had a pretty good estimate of intensity. The downside of it was that once Tracy came along, a lot of people were saying, well, what the hell, it's just another silly warning, and they wouldn't take any notice to Tracy.
There was no strong wind. There was nothing to indicate that it was coming, except we were on the 8th floor of a building, and I do remember looking out to the north over the Tiwi Islands, and you could see the edge of the cyclone. You could see the clouds, and you could actually see them rotating. It was quite extraordinary. Came home early. And the reason we came home early was to prepare the house as best we could to withstand the cyclone.
Oh, I knew before I'd even got to work that it was going to be bad.
We thought that we would just get through the night and the house would survive, and it would just be a bit of a rough night and we wouldn't get too much sleep.
By about 10 or 11 o'clock, I mean, the winds were, howling is not the right word. You had this sort of banshee scream with a very, very loud, low rumble underneath it. The building started shaking, and I mean, like you're on a bad railway train. It wasn't swaying, it was jump, jump, jump.
So we went into the bathroom, which you're advised to do. There were very strong gusts of wind. We could hear them coming because they were actually full of debris. You could actually hear not just the wind, but you could hear the clattering as the sheets of iron and bits of 4x4 were flying through the air. Then the roof blew off, and it came off. It was almost like aluminium foil. It just went gone. We spent the rest of the night behind the bath until the sun rose. By sunrise, it was the wind was starting to drop a lot.
Greg Bond and Mark Williams, who were sharing a house, they were going around with eyes like this. They were in a state of shock.
The Bureau threw absolutely everything they could in terms of resources to help. They sent a lot of temporary staff up, to admin staff, all sorts of staff, forecasting staff, all the people we needed. There was just sort of anything that was required.
So the main improvements have been monitoring of tropical cyclones. So satellite systems are able to give us 10-minute updates nowadays, whereas back in Tracy's time, the forecasters had to use very fuzzy images from orbiting satellites twice a day. These days, you can scarcely compare the forecasting of 1974 with 2024 because there's just such an improvement of accuracy and communication of those forecasts to the public as well. It's quite possible that we could see another cyclone like Tracy with a similar size and speed of movement. The difference will be, of course, the impacts on the community because nowadays we have very strict cyclone construction codes, and most recently built structures will resist cyclonic winds of the strength that Tracy produced.
I think it's just amazing when you're confronted by something like that, how you can pull yourself together and manage to do what seems to be the right thing at the right time. But that wasn't the case for everyone, of course.